Thank you all, that's clear. Right, item number 12, and we move on to the development of War Memorial Park, Manurewa, and the indicative business case for that. So I'm just going to invite Angela, our chair. I think you've got a sense of the meeting, Angela. Quick and focused would be good, thank you, I'd appreciate that.
Yeah, sure. Thank you, Madam Chair. Councillor Hulse, congratulations on your Excellence Award for outstanding service to the local government conference. Councillors, I'm just going to whip through really quickly because I've been listening all day, and I'm really going to focus on quality of advice in our particular OLI, so I won't labour on through my slides if I can get them to move. Just a reminder, War Memorial Park in Manurewa, it has been a local board project actually from 2013. Chose to use the OLI process. This is War Memorial Park, home to Manurewa football, Haumai Bowling Club and cricket. And this is what it looks like. Grandstand is owned by council, changing rooms are owned by council. The building, the top building, is owned by the football club. The building will need to be pulled down because it has health and safety issues. I'm going to whip through that one and through that one. I want to just talk about this a little bit because it's been a bit of a focus today, and this is the policies. And I spoke to this when I came and spoke to you about the annual plan. Two things: one, the OLI; the other thing, policy. This is the thing that's constraining all of us and being able to get delivery on our projects. The example I gave at the time was the Sports Investment and Plan, which you have adopted today, the draft. And Councillor Newman made a good point about threshold, because at that meeting I spoke about a table tennis club that was going to repair a roof and just wanted to activate the facility, and we were going to ask for a business case and a cost-benefit analysis. And so I think the threshold question is quite important, and now I wonder how that plan will impact on OLIs if we choose to use them again. There's just on page 103.3 of your agenda. It's these policies that have really frameworked around the outcomes of the indicative business case. Now, this indicative business case does little to resemble the community that I've been governing for 12 years, and I'm going to give those examples as I go through. Point 3. So we know it's a desktop business case. Point 3 of your report states there was an investigation into community needs, and that was a desktop study. And I'll show you the outcome of that assessment soon because it's quite important. But know this, the local board were not spoken to. The writer of the report couldn't tell the local board who uses these grounds, and I think that's really quite important. Nobody was spoken to. An assessment of strategic alignment, there was none taken with the local board plan, nor with the integrated area plan, which the governing body adopted, and this project is one of the deliverables of the integrated area plan. No communication with community facilities or parks, sport and rec or finance. That is all really important in my view. I'm just questioning the value of the indicative business cases, the place that it has when we're going to move to a detailed design, we would hope. An economic analysis, a cost-benefit analysis based on an economic return on investment for a community facility. I have never ever, in my 12 years here, ever seen a cost-benefit analysis that has considered the cost to community. I've spoken about this before. There is never a cost to community, the cost of doing nothing, the social impact of doing nothing. If the recommended option was taken today, it would leave the football club, for a start, without club rooms. 22 junior teams, 6 senior teams, 18 youth teams, and all of the members with no home. It makes no sense. We're in a worse position. That was the recommendation. So I just am quickly going to move through this. 2 points in the recommendation that were really pushing this, and this is the quality advice, Councillor Simpson. There is limited population growth projected in the Manurewa Local Board area, and that the current population projections do not indicate a need for additional community facilities before 2046. The green space up there with the star in it is Memorial Park. You can see that it's all used, a lot of it is mixed-use suburban. The THABs are mostly Housing New Zealand. At this point in time, the bottom left-hand quad side down there has had 31 homes removed, and they've been replaced by 121 homes. On the road that Memorial Park borders, Browns Road, there are one house being removed and replaced with 30 units, and another 2 houses removed and replaced with 75 units. That's quite a lot of growth in just, not a year. And this continues to happen because, perhaps like you, I see the building consents coming through every week. I can see the intensification. And we all know about Housing New Zealand's intensification throughout Auckland, not just in our area. So green space, you just spoke about the quality of it and the need for it because of intensification. Just on that population growth too, I was advised by someone from Panuku that perhaps policy are using the Auckland Transport population growth, which is averaging. It would make more sense to use the Counties Manukau District Health Board population projections, and that would align with what Chair Sorsini was saying earlier on. In terms of existing facilities, I'm just going to whip through these population slides because it just shows you that we're the red line. So, we're on a trend and we're above the average. So there's population growth. Housing New Zealand, just saying that we're one of the largest areas that have Housing New Zealand. War Memorial Park. So when we look at, there's the other comment on page 104 it is, and it comes under Roman numerals 2 and 3, existing community facilities, and it says there is no current gap for a new community facility. So that's War Memorial Park, and on here are the areas, there's 12, it says there's 12 community facilities within my board area, and they're marked on there. So there is a 5-minute drive as the first circle, and a 10-minute drive, might be a 15-minute drive as the second circle from War Memorial Park. Of those facilities, let's get my notes, there are community houses and venues for hire. There are 4 community houses, there are 5 venues for hire. There are also 3, and I agree with Councillor Simpson, we don't put up electric fences around our board boundaries, and I support communities travelling between wards. But 2 of the facilities are in Otara Papatoetoe. One is the Papatoetoe Town Hall, and I don't think that board fully would be too keen on my however many soccer teams going over there to co-locate. I know that they're at capacity. These other facilities are at capacity. One's over in Otara, she wouldn't want us going over there either, and the other one's in Takanini, and I know Chair Catchpole also wants more rooms. So it's not viable to expect the soccer club members from War Memorial to go traipsing over to Papatoetoe Town Hall. So I just would like some disregard to the recommendations that we have 12 facilities for use. When we consider what is left, because the others are venue for hire, so if you want to hire a hall for a 21st, that's what the other venues were for, Highridge. Then we have 2 facilities. One is in Clendon, which is quite away from War Memorial Park, and is also at capacity because it is used for community use regularly. And the other one is Manutukutuku, which is not a sporting facility. The intention of this OLI is to be a multi-sport centre. It's to it will be a local board, it'll be a council-owned building, and the soccer club will be a tenant. It is to be activated, which is the direction that we've been giving, to activate 7 days a week, as many hours as we can. Deprivation matters. Deprivation matters because when there's intensification, there's no land. Where there's poverty, there's no transport for us to get to other areas within our own ward, let alone to share facilities in other wards. And there's no accessibility to choice. There's no option for choice. So this is why it is important for us that this proceeds. Councillor Simpson, I would like to, feed back to you more around the quality of advice as well outside of this, because if I hadn't been given the opportunity to speak to this today, you would have gone by the information that was in this report, and you would have thought that I already have 12 facilities that could be used, and you would have thought that we have no population growth, and you would have based your decision on the best quality of advice from what was in this report. I question the value of the indicative business cases in some instances. My board offered to pay for the indicative business case and we're told no because we needed to keep it in-house within policy. My board will pay for a detailed design case and my board would want to work with community facilities and Park, Sport and Rec and Finance, who I have been working with in discussions recently around this. So I thank you for the opportunity to speak, Councillor Hulse. It's been a very difficult process and it's a report that is full of contradictions even before you dig into the information that I've given today. Right down to the recommendations where you have been asked, the same as I was asked, you can go for the 2.9 million or you can go for the 17 million. That is not quality of advice. That's appalling. So thank you for your time. I've probably gone over my 5 minutes. Thank you.
Thanks, Angela, and thank you for a very clear presentation. Councillor Newman, did you have a question for Angela, and would you like to move the vote of thanks?
Both. Thank you.
I'm happy to second.
Cool.
My question.
Councillor Walker will second.
My question.
Sue John will second.
My question, Angela, is that okay? So, if C or goes through, what is the willingness of the local board, having identified this Ollie as its priority and considering its forward capex, to help to support and get this particular capital project over the line?
Well, this is a major project for the board, so we will be looking to invest capex that we have, but also our renewals. This is our focus. Yeah.
Angela, we're not in the business of building club rooms for clubs, as you know, but so what's your proposal there that they will be, Manura at the soccer club, they will lease it, for 6 months of the year? Cricket club will lease it for 6 months of the year. Is that a bit like Metro or a bit like Glenavon? We've got a number of situations like that, but
I imagine it will be very similar to the Manurewa Community Sports Facility where there are multiple codes co-located. Soccer is all year round, not 6 months. But also it will be open to community, and this is the activation part during the days that the soccer or cricket club aren't there. There's a need in the community for other organisations to have a place to go.
so just from it, because I'm supportive of the business case, but we're quite clear that we're not building several different rooms. We're building one room that the Manurewa Football Club will use, so cricket will use, and other groups.
Thank you, Chair. Look, I'm also supportive of your Ollie, but I just wanted to find out, just as a context, because next to or close by any of the memorial is the netball, and how much use that is getting, because looking at it, it's being overutilised. So this particular one will be an asset to that particular area. So I'd just be interested to find out the use of that netball complex that you have there.
So the grounds are council owned, and the soccer club are going there to train in addition to the fields that they have regularly, mostly the junior teams. So the netball courts too are multi-use. So there is basketball, there is tennis, there is foosball, there is a lot of activity going on.
Hi Angela, thanks for your passion, your presentation, it's great. Do the soccer club, the cricket club, are they incorporated societies with the ability to raise funds? They are. Do they have funds much at the moment, do you know?
I don't know about the cricket club. I know the soccer club has not got a lot of funds, but they will contribute. We started discussions before Oli came along, and they will contribute if they can, what they can.
That's modest work elsewhere, so that's good to see, thank you.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Kia ora, Angela. There's there's two sort of resolutions before us, right? So picking up your earlier comment about which one, so that's really my question, right? Straight to you, because unless I ask you, I don't actually know where the local board thinking is, right? So the first part is like the small part, and the assumption is that that'll form the later parts, whatever that looks like, but it doesn't tell me. But the second part says it's the whole game. So the question I have for you is, which of these two questions is the most attractive, or resolutions, recommendations is the most attractive to our local board?
The second one.
Thank you.
Always good to be clear, we can presume nothing. Okay, no other questions. It's been moved and seconded that we thank Angela and the team and acknowledge John Dragg. I'll put that. All those in favour, please say aye.
Aye.
Against? Carried. Thank you. Thanks, Angela. And we'll move then straight on to the substantive item, which hopefully will be pretty straightforward. I think we've worn each other down over the course of the afternoon.
And
So I think we might
Councillor
have-
Walker wants to move it.
I think he does. So,
Happy to second.
and we've got those changes there that were recommended. No, this is moved by Sir John, seconded by Councillor Newman. So we'll just park that. Any? Hang on a minute. You're not going to get off that easy. Not when everyone else has had to go through the ringer. Kat, did you want to make any opening remarks?
I think we can just take it as read and go straight
Take it
to
as-
questions.
Okay. All right. Any questions for our staff? No? I'm going to put the Councillor Cooper.
So I suppose it's probably for all of these projects, the money for the Ollies is in the long-term plan. So I just want to understand the difference is that for some of the options we would have spent less. For this one, we actually have it in the budget. We've still got to do a full business case and costings. So there's still opportunities that it may be less, or maybe, there's enough there. I suppose that's what I want to be sure of, that we're not trying to just cut costs or anything like that. And that wouldn't be your view, I know, but just, I don't know what direction you get sometimes.
I might be able to help. So we have 200 million in the LTP, effectively put aside for Ollie's. We need about 500 million. So it will be the next LTP when we will reconsider, and the business plans will be coming back with the priorities for us to consider how to go ahead, etc. And needless to say, if we can improve the balance sheet with a special purpose vehicle or something like that, we will have money available.
But to clarify, this is definitely within their earmarked amount, so it's within the envelope.
Clarify. Councillor Newman.
Just a very quick one, and I want to actually acknowledge Councillor Clough. The question was appropriate. One of the byproducts of moving forward with this is that community facilities staff will need to lead the discussion with groups within the community and seek the agreement of the Manirewa AFC regarding the future of that building, its component of that building. So that will be done concurrent to the development of this business plan. It's an operational question, but it's important.
You know, through the chair, that is correct, Councillor Newman. The soccer club building is at condition 5. It's close to be issued with a notice to either upgrade or demolish, and it's not cost effective to demolish. So the club have got some huge challenges should options not come forward that will support them.
Thank you, Chair.
Okay, that's useful. Right. Okay, let's put the recommendation. Been moved and seconded. All those in favour, please say aye.
Aye.
Against? Carried. Thank you, and thank you, team. And just acknowledging Angela and Daniel, there's been some very good discussions that have been had. And Sir John.